birdie somewhere said that you're an Arsenal fan. Is that true?
Can't you tell?
There's a special manifestation of God, a special presence of God where it's actually manifest. And people don't know it. People cannot discern men and women with whom God has chosen and decided, okay, now you, I am with you, I have come to make my abode with you. Hallelujah.
The Kenya Film Commission, in partnership with Techno Mobile, CDI Gadgets, Documentary and Reality TV, has rolled out the 3rd edition of the Mobile Phone Film Competition. It is a competition for short films shot using exclusively mobile phones.
To participate, you need to be a Kenyan citizen, have a smartphone that can shoot video in HD, be between the ages of 18 to 35 years old, shoot a film not longer than 5 minutes. The film should be in English, but if you must use any other language, please use subtitles in your film.
This is NTV.
You bang on time for NTV News at 1. My name is Debarl, Inea. Now, 4 poachers have been arrested in Voi, Taita Taveta after a raid conducted by Kenya Wildlife Service and Voi police officers along Nairobi-Mombasa Highway. A truck of registration number KCU 544D belonging to Simba Cement was intercepted in Kirumbi area transporting wildlife trophies. A full giraffe and 500 kilograms of other game meat were found hidden in the truck. The 4 suspects were arrested and detained at Voi Police Station. Meanwhile, a section of Savo East National Park caught fire last evening, burning hundreds of acres of land. The Kenya Wildlife Service is expected to give a statement soon on the extent of the fire. We'll be joining our reporter Bill Otieno much later in the course of the bulletin to give us first-hand information on what is happening on the ground right now.
Sangapi? 6 na 4 tumetuma picha. Kwa sasa. Imekichukua kidogo ikadikata. Sasa kwa interview itakuangusha.
Bill is at the ready to give us details of this particular fire. Bill, good afternoon. What are you learning?
Well, thank you very much. Good afternoon, Debarl. And I'm in Voi at Savo Areas Conservation Offices here. And indeed, what had happened yesterday is that there was a fire that started around midday. That was early midday yesterday. And it's something that caught our attention, and we had to come to this particular office here just to find out what was it. And indeed, we did realize that this was just a bushfire that was starting, and this is a fire that started around midday. Then it went henceforth to around evening, where we went to that scene yesterday, and we did witness that fire was still going on. The fire was still also going on also when the dusk come in, and also at night we saw many people witness the fire at night. And we also as well realized that the fire had extended hundreds of acres inside Tsavo East National Park. To an extent, we have information that the Tsavo West officers, or Tsavo West Kenya Wildlife Service officers, were part of the people who were trying to control the fire. From 4 p.m. yesterday, there was no measures or any attempt by Kenya Wildlife Service to try and put off the fire. And I was following up with the area assistant director, and he did tell me to come here today so that I can have a more brief about it. And indeed, I'm here at these offices, as you can see here. Oh, my cameraman Chris can show you. Until now, no one is here, and I have not got any information regarding the fire. But what has come to our attention is that the fire was put off, and it did cover a very big or a very huge area. This is what that is happening now, and we're expecting perhaps a presser later from the Kenya Wildlife Service, Tsavo Conservation Area offices, and we'll be giving you, I'll keep you in tabs as we move on the rest of the day. Back to you, Debarl.
Many thanks indeed, Bill. And of course, that is a very, very large expanse of the Tsavo that has been burnt right now. And Bill will be giving us more details later in the course of the day in our subsequent bulletins. More than 300 homes from Gambo, Baringo County, have been submerged, leaving hundreds of people homeless. The people blame their woes on the Mathenge plant, which they say has blocked waterways, resulting to the levels from Lake Baringo rising.
The green vegetation from the Mathenge plant might misinform a stranger who may think that the lives of people in parts of Baringo is flourishing. But it has been the cause of their troubles. They always complain how the plant has affected them negatively. They now blame it on the increase of water levels in Lake Baringo, which has submerged some of their homes. Baringo residents say the Mathenge plant has blocked waterways.
Imeng'oa mbuzi meno, ng'ombe wamekwisha, tukajaribu kulima. Mashamba imesama, imechukuliwa na hii lake sasa. Tuko na acreage, 200 acres and above, ambayo iko ndani ya hii maji sasa hivi. Na ilikuwa ni irrigation. Tumebaki tukiwa sasa na deni ya Kenya Seed.
Serikali hawajachukua maanani kupatia watu makazi, ila tu wanasema muende sehemu nyingine mbadala, na wakazi wa hapa wengi wao ni wale ambao wako na maisha ya chini sana. Hawana mapato.
And in Chalaluma ward in Lamu County, 200 families have benefited from free medical care from the county's health department. Chalaluma residents are victims of floods that left more than 400 families homeless. Chalaluma residents are victims of floods that left more than 400 families homeless.
Afya ni mzuri kushinda kitu yoyote. Saizi mtoto ni mgonjwa, mama ni mgonjwa, kitu yoyote kitakuwa sasa hakuna njia yoyote. Ni usaidizi tu tunataka.
Mama mjamzito pia amepata matibabu na madawa na neti na dawa ya maji. Nimeshukuru sana county ya government.
Tumeweza kuja na madaktari ili tuweze kusaidia wananchi hapa. Tumeweza kuja na aqua tubs zile za kusafisha maji.
Chalaluma residents have also received free masks, sanitizers, as well as vaccinations for children. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
Residents of Ololua are now living in fear after thugs broke into homes and destroyed property in the area of an unknown value. It is believed that the move was to seek vengeance for one of the thugs who was killed a week ago after being caught, while two of his colleagues managed to escape.
Ronald Ogere has now been left picking up the pieces of what was his once booming business in Ololua, Kajiado County. He is now counting his losses after rowdy youth broke into his shop, burning it down as revenge after the death of one of their own.
Tuseme 1 week ago, kuna wezi walikuja kwangu, walikuja masaa ya saa kumi asubuhi, walikuwa watatu. So wakaanza kuipa hapo kwangu mbele kwa duka, nikasikia nikapiga nduru, majirani wakatokea wakakuja wakasika mmoja wakamuua.
After the incident, Ronald went and reported the matter to the authorities, thinking all would be rosy. Little did he know that the worst was yet to come.
Sasa ilipofika jana siku ya kushika mwili, wakatoa mwili mmoja wakamuleta mpaka makaburi hapa Ngong. Kutoka hapo ndio walisema wawezi kumusika bila kumpeleka huko kwangu mahali eti alikuwa anaiba. So kumuleta huko ndio walianza kuharibu mali yangu, wakaiba vitu kutoka ndani kwanza ndio wakachoma nyumba.
The residents of the area are now calling upon authorities to take swift action and increase security in the area. Helen Aura, NTV.
Businesses will have to adhere to regulations put in place for them to operate after the disruption caused by COVID-19 is controlled. Mombasa Governor Hassan Joho says if the companies want the economy and supply chains to return to normal, they need to join the effort to beat the virus fast and faster. Many hotels, both in Nairobi and Mombasa, had been shut down due to the effect of coronavirus containment measures.
Wakati serikali itamua inafungua maeneo fulani ya uchumi, sisi tutakuwa na mikakati yetu or specific requirements ambazo there must be met kwa mtu kufanya ufunguzi ama biashara yake. And then there shall be enforcement, there shall be monitoring so that we continue to fight COVID-19. And if we feel that you pose a risk in one way or another, we shall not hesitate, even by ourselves, to institute action against you.
Police officers in Busia County have impounded illicit goods believed to have been imported from bordering Uganda. Over 400 cartons of liquor, over 5 crates of illegal beer, illicit brew, and 5 kilograms of bang were recovered in Busia town. According to Busia Deputy County Commissioner Joseph Onyango, 28 people have been arrested in connection to the importation of illicit goods and are being detained by Busia Police Station, awaiting charges on Monday.
What is happening in Marachis is that the thugs there have made it a no-go zone to police officers, and these illicit goods were extracted from that place. A lot of difficulties. They were fighting the police. They used a lot of stones. One of our officers was injured, but the police used reasonable force.
Now, the National Water Harvest and Storage Authority have visited Turkana to inspect the water projects they are undertaking in the county. Led by the newly appointed chairman of the board of the authority, Eric Okeo, the authority paid a courtesy call to the Turkana County Commissioner Boniface Wambua to brief him on the 2 water projects of Napu aquifers and the Peace Dam that were authorized by President Uhuru Kenyatta when they launched a peace and cross-border trade agreement with Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni in Moroto, Uganda, earlier this year. According to Okeo, the Napu Aquifers water project funded by Turkana County government will be complete next month and ease the pressure on water demand in Lodwar town and its environs. However, Okeo revealed that the peace dam sanctioned by the president was marred by corruption on awarding of the tenders and the procurement process, a case being handled by the EACC, saying they are negotiating with the EACC to allow the project to go on as they pursue justice with the culprits involved.
The fact that the county government can give them a contract is an indication that their competence is being appreciated, because in most cases people usually give contracts to private bodies.
We are in talks with the investigations so that the project can continue and beat the presidential deadline in order that it can help foster peace between the communities that are at the border.
Now, following a presidential directive, the Kenya Revenue Authority has commenced paying 10 billion shillings worth of VAT refunds to business entities. The funds have been released by the National Treasury. The refunds are expected to offer financial relief to businesses that have been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. As KRA seeks to clear the backlog of VAT refunds, concern still remains about the extensive delay that businessmen face when it comes to receiving their VAT refunds, a matter which still remains highly problematic. A week after President Uhuru Kenyatta announced an economic stimulus package to cushion Kenyans, the Ministry of Water and National Irrigation Board says that it will construct 125,000 water storage facilities in a move set to boost food security. Shifting climate patterns and unreliable rainfall has pushed farmers to innovate new water harvesting methods to break the rampant cycle of drought in the country. Lilian Kiare has more on this.
A few years ago, Machakos County was viewed as the poster child of drought and famine. A land hard hit by the scorching sun and covered in a blanket of clay soil, hungry to gobble up all raindrops before the residents would quench their thirst. But now, in Ikombe village, Machakos County, Munyaondolo tells a different tale. One of how new water harvesting strategies have revived his hope in a land whose yields were insignificant.
Nimekundua hakuna mahali babaya, kila mahali ni bazuri. Na kila mahali kunaweza toka chakula.
Early last year, Munyao was part of the beneficiaries of a government initiative fronted by the Ministry of Water and the National Irrigation Authority to construct water pans and also rehabilitate water storage facilities.
Tulitengeneza na tingatinga ilikuja, ufana yake ni 25 meters long, the depth ni 4 meters, na ile width ni 10 meters.
Munyao says the construction of one water pan averages at 120,000 shillings.
Zamani tulikuwa tunalima ila sukuma, nyanya kidogo, that is local market, kitu kama hiyo. Lakini sasa kutokana na hii imekuja juzi. Tumefundishwa na tukakuwa commercial, tukaanza kufanya commercial agriculture.
The government says that it is planning on rehabilitating about 4,000 existing water pans and small dams with an average capacity of 100,000 cubic meters and a cumulative volume of 400 million cubic meters in the next 2 years.
For now, trying to give as many water pans as possible so that we can be able to, even if the water cannot last for 6 months, maybe 4 months the farmers will be able to do some cultivation and some production.
This project, which is supposed to go to the most vulnerable, needy areas for start, is one where we should aim at having 125,000 such dams in the communities and in the households. I'm happy to note so far 12,500 such dams across have actually been implemented with very, very phenomenal impact from a social and economic point. And just now learning that in West Pokot, we also have gotten peace dividend out of a similar project.
As crops start sprouting from this farm that previously lay bare, the step towards food security are now imminent. The government says that it is working on opening up international markets for the farmers to sell their produce. Lilian Kiarie, NTV.
Staying with water matters, the Ministries of Tourism and Transport have approved the design for the construction of 520 million shillings waterfront around Lake Naivasha, despite opposition from the environmentalist. The building works will kick off next month, and the government has assured all stakeholders they will be consulted before the real works begin. According to the Chief Administrative Secretary in the Ministry of Transport and Infrastructure, Wavinya Ndeti, the project, touted to be one of the biggest tourist destinations once complete, will take 6 months, and that customs offices around the dry port will also be constructed starting next month.
I thought they were on the other side.
The project that they have is a good project that is going to improve business in this area and also create employment. So the faster we try to, that's why I was talking to the Ministry of Tourism and Nasisi, we make sure we do the work very quickly so that we can complete the project.
Police in Murang'a have nabbed bang estimated to be worth 5 million shillings at the Makuyu roadblock along the Nyeri-Nairobi highway. 2 people who ferried the illegal drug have been arrested. Murang'a County Commander Josephat Kinyua said the 80 bales of bang were being transported from Ethiopia by a notorious drug trafficker operating from Isiolo and who has been on the police watch list.
Acting on a tip-off yesterday evening, the police intercepted a motor vehicle registration number KCU 348H, a Toyota Land Cruiser pickup, where they found the narcotics drugs packed in several sacks.
Hawa inaonekana ni watu wamezoea kwa sababu haijafichwa na chochote. Hata nyinyi wenyewe mkiangalia ni ya kwamba hakuna kitu kingine iko hapo. Ni hema ya Land Cruiser peke yake imeweza kufunika na wakaendelea na safari yao.
The police boss said one of the suspects, Yusuf Halkano Sokono, alias Jarso Boru Dida, 43 years old, who was the driver, had a fake job ID indicating that he's a nurse at Isiolo County. The other suspect was identified as Dida Jaso Ache, aged 62 years. It remains unclear how the 2 suspects were able to pass over 13 police barriers from Isiolo to Makoyo.
Tunadhania ilikuwa ya kupeana ndio waweze kupata uhuru ya kutembea mahali popote ambao ni 1,194,900. Kwa hivyo tumeweza kulikafa hata hizo pesa ambayo wako nazo na tunajua ya kwamba hii ni ile pesa ya kwenda kama kutakuwa na chochote watatoa hiyo.
The 80 bales weighing approximately 240 kilograms have a street value of about 5 million Kenya shillings.
Tunatoa onyo kali kwa wale ambao wanaendelea kuhusika na masuala hii ya bangi na miandarati kwamba sisi tutachukua hatua kali na wale ambao tuko nao saa hii washukiwa hawa tayari wafikishwa kotini na kushtakiwa kulingana na sheria zetu za nchi.
The accused persons were placed in custody pending further investigations. Martin Mora, NTV, Murang'a County.
Time for me to select my thirst as we take a station break. We'll circle back with more. Don't go away.
Rashes again? Kiss Kids diapers. Kiss Kids, no rashes. Kiss Kids, no rashes. Bye-bye rashes. Buy diapers. Choose Kiss Kids.
Sonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka na maumivu ya kichwa, mwili na hata meno. Sonadol Extra, hakika maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Football is back. This Saturday on NTV, Hertha Berlin takes on FC Augsburg live in Olympiastadion Stadium from 4:30 p.m. You don't want to miss this action.
Welcome back. Let's buckle down to some sports where Jamaican Shirley Ann Fraser-Price, nicknamed quote-unquote Pocket Rocket, stormed onto the athletics scene 12 years ago. And she has cemented herself as arguably the greatest female sprinter of all time. Tonight, we see Kenya and Jamaica connect on a common love of athletics as the world's fastest woman talks exclusively to Ida Waringa about her future plans, her family life, and much more from Kingston, Jamaica on NTV Sport at 9:45 p.m.
She's the world champion once again.
Do you have a favorite Kenyan athlete?
Yeah, so I do. I cheer for Kenyans. You know, I do cheer and he's my friend. His energy is just everything. I'm so biased. I want him to win.
A little little birdie somewhere said that you're an Arsenal fan. Is that true?
Can't you tell?
Riveting, compelling stuff there. Make sure you don't miss it tonight. Professional athletes who are experiencing financial hardship due to the coronavirus pandemic can apply for a one-off welfare grant from World Athletics. To apply, an athlete should fill in a form in the World Athletics website, which is worldathletics.org. All applicants must have qualified for selection for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, must have never had an anti-doping rule violation, and must be able to demonstrate a justifiable welfare need through a significant loss of income in 2020 compared to 2019. The level of grant will be dependent on the number of approved applications and up to a maximum of $4,000. The deadline to apply is tomorrow. Bayer Leverkusen climbed into the Bundesliga's top four after red-hot Kai Havertz and a 1-0 victory away to Freiburg. Leverkusen provisionally moved into a third thanks to Havertz's second-half winner. The goal saw the forward become the first Bundesliga player to reach 35 goals before turning 21. Freiburg remain 8th, 4 points off the top 6 defending champions and leaders Bayern Munich, who are just 12 points away from an 8th consecutive league title host lowly Fortuna Düsseldorf in the 7:30 kickoff. He's the second manager to confirm he had a positive test for COVID-19 after Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta. The EPL, which has 9 rounds remaining, will restart on June 17th with Leicester third on the log. Meanwhile, Liverpool may have to play their remaining matches at neutral venues. This is after police in the UK termed their games as potential high risk because of fears that crowds will gather outside stadiums. The Reds need just 2 more wins to be confirmed EPL champions after a 30-year wait. Talks are still ongoing with Liverpool eager to play at Anfield. Roger Federer is the first tennis player to top the annual Forbes list of the world's highest-paid athletes, overtaking footballer Lionel Messi. 38-year-old Federer moved up 4 places after earning £86.2 million in the past year, of which about £81 million was endorsements. Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi and Neymar second to fourth, with American basketball player LeBron James completing the top 5. Japanese tennis player Naomi Osaka, who was revealed to be the highest paid female athlete earlier this month, is 29th overall on the list, the world's highest paid athletes. Let's see what is happening on the international scene. As far as the news is concerned, several hundred people angrily protested the death of an African-American man in police custody in Minneapolis, rallying outside the White House on Friday. Tension was high in the capital, while violence spread to several cities across the U.S. Murder charges laid against the arresting Minneapolis officer failed to quell the boiling anger.
Protesters brought the heat to the center of the Capitol, right at the doorstep of the president. The angry crowd chanted slogans demanding justice for the late George Floyd. The protesters passionately expressed their discontent with police and the manner in which they profile would-be criminals on the basis of race. The protesters removed metal barriers and chanted slogans. Secret Service agents who barricaded the area and blocked their way had to use pepper spray to ward off the more aggressive protesters. This sparked a reaction from inside the White House, with the president softening his previous stance on the matter.
I want to express our nation's deepest condolences and most heartfelt sympathies to the family of George Floyd. A terrible event, terrible, terrible thing that happened. I've asked that the Department of Justice expedite the federal investigation into his death.
The president has urged law enforcement to observe the law in exercising their role to society. He hailed the arrest of the officer involved in the death of the late George Floyd, terming it a step in the right direction. It is unlikely that the president's address will calm the situation that continues to spiral out of control.
Well, that does it for now, but I'll be remiss if I don't tickle your funny ball with the bullseye, which is up next. We know that many persons will be rogue if he knew how, so the saying goes. It seems, though, that many Kenyan politicians have discovered that elusive way and have come to accept that given the choice between integrity and survival, they will choose the latter. Many are eating humble pie as their past deeds and speeches return to haunt them. And as Emmanuel Juma reports on Bullseye, it's time for politicians to learn new lessons. Always keep your words soft, tender, and sweet, just in case you have to eat them.
The good times. Millie was mingling freely, and she could just easily have taken on anything and anybody, anytime.
I want to tell them, or we want to tell them, bring it on, baby, bring it on.
And bring it on he did. Someone had armed Rungu with a really lethal Rungu, and he was putting it to use.
We must be allowed to give confidence and to withdraw confidence to those who don't follow the party lines.
He had brought it on for Millie, and how would she respond?
Senator Omanga Millicent.
I vote yes.
So, Millie, what was all that bring it on baby business?
When I say we, sometimes is,
You're referring to yourself.
Yes?
Is it to yourself?
Yeah, because I think I can't remember. I think when we were talking at the boardroom there, I think they say that's how they get it. Anyway, that's the
confusing political times, and she's not alone.
This job of being a chief whip is very challenging.
Even he with the big rungu now has walked a different path before.
Sisi ambao ni wafuasi wa Jubilee tunaambia Bwana Raila Odinga hata kama ameingia pande yetu tunamwangalia kabisa, kwani tunajua kwamba sisi tunamfuata William Ruto. Mimi uhusiano wangu na Mheshimiwa His Excellency Deputy President of the Republic ni wa dhati zaidi.
And he could even have sworn to that.
Hata kukitokea hii mambo inatokea, haki ya Mungu mimi pana vitu siwezi sahau. Siwezi sahau ya kwamba tulitoka na wewe kutoka huko pande za Maragwa, tukapitia hapa, tukaenda kule Mogoi. Nilikuwa nimedanganya Deputy President aje afungue maji.
And today,
it's very challenging, my brothers.
How about Kindiki?
Ask my shoes,
it's been a long and agonizing walk for Kithure, if the shoes can be believed. And yes, he has also had his moments.
A number of people who are elected on Jubilee tickets have decided to openly rebel against the party. And I want to tell them I think they've been too accommodating. But there is a limit to which that accommodation can go.
There
is no way somebody can openly defy the head of state, the deputy head of state, on whose ticket they were elected, and still continue to enjoy the privileges of our political support.
Well. How about when the shoe is on the other foot?
Victory over darkness comes to the victors in installments.
But punishment for perpetuating the works of darkness is meted out on the conspirators in one lump sum.
I dare ask, Kendeke Kindiki, Luya for what's up Kindiki?
They wrongly diagonized that I could be manipulated.
Then we had this man, all ready for battle after going against the party leader's orders.
Boss, nafunza watu wajue sheria.
Easy Ledama, easy. Who is the bad guy now?
It's something that baffles me. It completely baffles me. Because I have a lot of respect for Raila Amolo Odinga. You know? And it is now about time for me to say that he is the one fighting me.
Then he was summoned. And boy, it was all smiles and total show of obedience. That must have been a hair-raising experience for the Narok senator. How heavy was that?
No, the truck is 10 tons.
What now, Lekina?
Party loyalty versus meritocracy are two very different things.
Don't laugh, Your Excellency. But seriously, what's going on?
In politics, it is very easy to make friends even with the people you don't know. But it's also very easy to make enemies. That is why always the enemies of yesterday are always friends of today. And the friends of yesterday always become enemies of today. Why? Because you are not looking for friendship, you are looking for interests.
Emmanuel Juma, Bullseye, NTV.